Hello, it's 12:40 a.m. on November 1st. So yesterday, that's on Sunday, I had a series of discussions with a number of friends. Some preparing for next year pre, some giving this year mains. So overall, we were discussing about how to go ahead, what to plan. So some of my friends were engaged in different tasks since they are giving next year pre and they couldn't clear last time, and done with their syllabus once or twice. They were planning of various assignments like teaching, evaluation, etc. And few of my friends are giving mains this time, so they were having their own distinct plans. So we reflected upon what is the actual time available and some myths we are all going through. And I found that those are the myths that many people would be going through and hence worth a very good discussion. So let's get into the discussion. The first myth many of us carry is that we have a 7 month gap, that we have exam next June. So we have good amount of time and we can chill out a bit between November, December, etc. Because exam was only in October, so we need to get some breathing space, and in that way many of us usually violate the time, very precious time have between November and December, and they think that we have time so we can slowly pull up our mains from during this point of time. But when you go deeply through each and every month and when you reflect upon the actual time you need for mains prep, and when you take the entire 1 year cycle into concern, okay, and the actual number of days available, it will bust many myths, and some of such thing happened today, which is why I thought I can bring it to your notice as well. So this is the first myth. The first myth is that we have got good amount of time between November to Jan, so it's almost 3 months. So let's first go through this myth. Frankly speaking, you don't have 3 months, because these are not the months where you would be giving your 10 to 12 hours. So, a very good day is one day where you will be giving 8 hours or 6 to 8 hours. This is very true for repeaters. Freshers have that energy and young blood, so they may pull it for till 10 hours. But I tell you, as the number of attempts increase, the capacity to sit for long drastically comes down. So an optimal day is one day where you can pull off 6 to 8 hours, or optimally 7 hours, and you'll be having your Diwali, you'll be having your Pongal. So out of 90 days, effective days are some 75, of which you will further be having your Sundays, etc. So in my opinion, the actual time at best you have between November to Jan is only 70 days. And with all my experience, I tell you, and I'm very much experienced in this field, your success depends upon how you actually make use of the months between November to Jan, because this will set the entire tone right for the year. Your year long preparation, your confidence in the exam depends upon how optimal usage you make of November to Jan, and let me explain why. Before that, let me give you the actual reality of the way things work. You see, if at all you while away the time between November to Jan, come Feb, you have 4 months to pre, only 4 months. And given the nature of pre, if you do not focus these 3 to 3.5 or 4 months, for many 4 months, because uh, I know friends who have given 2 to 3 interview and failing this pre, who have given 4 to 5 mains consecutively and failing this pre. So if you don't take pre seriously, you're already out of game. So Feb to may take it for granted you will be in the prelims rush. At least the pressure of pre would be building up. And if you waste Feb as well, The last 3 months, I bet, won't be in your control. You will not be having your own strategy. At max, you'll be going by the random regular test series, okay, regular books, etc., without just as the herd goes. Whereas the technique needed for films is a different thing. You know the technique, but you won't be having the conviction to execute the technique because you already, that sense of insecurity began, that you were not very serious with current affairs. Of late, this trend has become quite popular that you need not read newspapers and you can just do with magazines. But the irony is that many are unable to do even the magazines. I'm giving you the reality of about 90% cases. So, how well you do from Feb to May depends largely upon your preparedness in the initial 60 to 70 days. And in this exam, there is one key word that I'd like to introduce, that is the locus of control. What does this mean? Locus of control means you actually having a strategy and you following it in your own way rather than following what some topper said or what the crowd is doing or what your next fellow, the friend beside you, is doing in the exam, beside you in the study hall is doing. So for the locus of control to be within you, only when that is within you, you can approach the pre or mains with confidence in your own way. You get the confidence only when you do it in your own way, your trusted way. So, to have the locus of control, you should start straight away in the next 60 to 70 days. So, what is the optimal thing that you can do in the first 60 to 70 days? This is my idea. My idea is, first, these are the days when you need to, these 60 to 70 days are the days when you should be focusing on exclusive mains part. Okay, so what is that exclusive mains part? So what constitutes this exclusive mains wala? One, your exclusive mains topics like, take GS1. One, you have post independence, world history. These are exclusive mains, and then you have society, and in GS2 you have social justice. Okay, and you have IR. These are predominantly mains, and in your GS3 you have security, science and technology, partly you have your internal security, and your entire GS4. These are the things you should be focusing in the next 60 to 70 days till Jan, first week. You should be done and dusted with it, and I bet unless you focus at least 6 to 8 hours a day, you cannot do all this. This is one full subject. Some will finish it in 1 week, some do it in 10 days. But optimally, if you do it in the right method, it will take some 20 to 21 days, or at least 20 days, if you do it in the right method, rather than doing it somehow and living in some sort of false consciousness that you have done with it. What is the right method? We'll come to it. Okay. Next, post-independence. You see, post-independence and world history, if you do not do now, in the post-prelims phase, okay, you just cannot focus, because usually they have lesser number of questions. When they have lesser number of questions, the gap between pre and mains is only some, take 80 days. So these are the days you will be spending on high yielding areas like optional, ethics, essay largely, and some parts of GS2, GS3. So focus would not be on these low yielding areas. So when to focus, this is the time you should sort out these two. Next, society and social justice. Most neglected part, because everyone feels he's an expert or she's an expert there. Next, IR, security, security, science and technology, etc. These are to be done at this point of time. And even for GS4, the good thing is, once you are done with framework, basic notes, and some case studies, you have something to work upon. GS4, the knowledge is very evolving. And how would it evolve? It would evolve when you have a list of key terms, and you keep on adding examples to this from newspapers, etc. So your preparation will evolve when you have a basic document, and you need to be done with the basic document in the coming 60 to 70 days. Only then you are sufficiently prepared for your mains, and you are on a sound footing to go to the next phase of your prep. So what's the next phase of your prep? So this is the next phase of your prep. Okay, prelims prep. So prelims prep basically starts, in my opinion, from Jan. So this is not exclusive prelims prep, but you should be dealing with subjects which are common for both pre and mains, like polity in GS2, geography in GS1, and in GS3 you have economy. And in GS1 you also have, and in GS1 you also have, I'm sorry, and in GS1 you also have history. So prelims and mains should be done together for the next 2 to 3 months. So you can stretch your mains till March. Okay, so mains is basically of this way, goes in this way. So till Jan you have exclusive mains, and till March, so Jan to March, you have prelims come mains part. So this is the way in which you can plan, so that come March you already have done with good portions of your pre, because you are doing corresponding mains portions as well, and then you can easily jump into the prelims part, which needs a different orientation of preparation, but you'll be done with your core. So I think this is one way one can plan their prelims come mains preparation till March. And come March, come Feb, of course, you'll be doing what constitutes the basic prelims prep. So what constitutes the prelims prep, and we'll do what constitutes the mains prep as well. You see, the off neglected part in prelims prep is this, the monthly current affairs. Let's accept the fact that most of us have stopped reading newspapers, and even if we read newspapers, we are not making notes, and we are going after monthly magazines. And since we are not doing this, we are running after PTs. It's such a joke on the entire exam year. If you are not even doing your basic current affairs, how would you aspire to become a good officer? At least at the minimum, you should browse or skim through newspapers. And in my opinion, monthly magazines should be done on a monthly basis. In the sense, each month you should do the corresponding magazine. And if you have a backlog, finish them ASAP. Fun. Then the basic books. Then at least one test series in the right method. So what constitutes the right method? The general myth with respect to taking a test is that you take a test, okay, you see the answers and you are left with it. No. The right method constitutes solving a test, writing the mistakes, referring corresponding concepts, make notes, revise again, and don't repeat the mistakes. So this is a proper process, and unless you do it in the right process, how many number of tests you do, they are of no consequence. One. And most important thing that's relevant with recent trends in prelims is prelims has become more of an elimination game rather than a test of knowledge. So even in the recent prelims, you will understand that only 50% of questions at max test your knowledge, whereas the other 50% test your basic elimination skills that you get when you solve the proper previous year questions. In a way, this is a sad or sorry state of affairs, but we should accept that. So you need to be focusing on your MCQ technique. What is MCQ technique? That we can do as the prelims comes near. But this constitutes a proper prelims prep. And then what constitutes mains prep, which means we saw no mains has two phases, till Jan and Jan to March. So you can tick off a subject in your syllabus only when you do this entire cycle. And unless this, whatever you do, you are not preparing for mains. Rather, I'm being very honest, you are wasting your time. So, what constitutes proper mains prep? So, it should start basically with previous year questions. So, do previous year questions to understand the bandwidth of each topic. So, when you see a previous year question, take society. Okay, in society, in globalization, what sort of questions are asked? Next, in urbanization, what sort of questions are asked? And social justice, under vulnerable sections, what sort of questions are asked? So you get to know the relative bandwidth of the topic. And if you do it well, I bet you can predict at least 50 to 60% of questions in mains. Which is why many people feel films is to be a relatively easier mains to be a relatively easier area compared to pre, because there's a certain element of predictability and the number of topics are limited, and you can narrow down the topics based on previous year questions. Number one. Number two, your pre is unfinished unless you have a crisp notes of each and every subtopic. This is most important. One should reach to a stage where one has two notes. One notes for their basic concepts, second notes for the current affairs substation related to these concepts. Say in agriculture you are doing irrigation, you should have a 2-page notes or a 1-page notes. Say you are doing PDS, 2-page notes, for example. Likewise for urbanization, you can have a 1-page notes. So you should have a 1-page notes and a separate notes or a half-page notes for the corresponding current affairs. Unless you do this, you would never be confident with mains. And what is the right time? This is the right time. And if you while away this time, forget the exam. I can tell you, because you cannot approach with confidence. Uh, the proper aim for a candidate is that he should be able to predict his main success. And I've seen many people who could predict their main success. Like even before mains, they say that, bro, I'm reaching interview this time, because they have gained such a proficiency in mains because they do the method in the right way. And this is the most vital step in the entire method. Next, the third most important point is, you see, mains is fundamentally a Q&A game. How much ever knowledge you accumulate, unless you have the knack of succinctly putting it in 150 words and 250 words, your knowledge is just not of any worth. So you get that when you have a question bank for each topic and you keep on practicing questions upon those. And so have a question bank, prepare crisp notes, and do a test series. Because only through a test series with the right people, you can evolve your own technique and see test series as an experiment. Like if any test series promises you mentor call, so willingly do mistakes. And in the mentor call, make it a point to go to every of the mistake that you planted. He may think that you did a mistake, but it should be in your knowledge that you planted the mistake to understand the mindset of examiner when he's going through it. You are buying in doing test series, you are doing three things. One, you are buying a plan to methodically finish the syllabus. Number two, you are paying to understand the examiner mindset. In the real exam, you cannot ask the examiner as to why he cut a question and how his feelings were when he was evaluating a particular question. But here you have a golden opportunity. You have, if you write some 25 tests, you get 25 opportunities. In fact, not 25, 25 into some 10. You have 250 opportunities, because you can question about 10 questions for each test. So it's about 250 kinds of mistakes you can do, and you can update and keep on refining your technique. And you can finish the overall syllabus. So you should know how to use a test series. That makes the basic difference. So unless you are sorted in this method or some method, you'll be having a method basically. prelims or mains prep or this entire preparation, days would just pass and you would not be having anything concrete by the end of the day, and many times by the end of the year you'll be left with nothing. So this is one framework. Try it. I think it helps. This is based on a lot of experience and years in the industry. So check it out. Cello. Bye.